people glorify dying for God and they glorify martyrdom because they have genuinely dehumanized human lives and humanized the religion of Islam. They have given Islam feelings, they have given Islam rank, and they have given Islam priority, which is why they will always resort to protecting the image of Islam and to protecting the identity of Islam over protecting actual Muslim lives in their community. They know this is wrong, which is why when innocent Muslim people pass away, they don't know how to deal with that grief because accepting that grief would destabilize their entire belief system. Accepting that grief would make them question, did this person actually have to die? So instead of accepting the grief and instead of facing it and instead of questioning their belief systems, they say that person died for God and it's a noble and holy way to die. And they say that God's going to reward this person for dying for him. God doesn't need people to die for him. You know who needs people to die for them? Men. Men need people to die for them because men are jealous of the way that women create life. Men created martyrdom as a noble and holy way to die so they can justify murder. In Islam, there are so many stories of men going to war for God and fighting for God and dying for God, and apparently they get the highest rank in heaven when they do that. Who knew earning heaven would be so easy? All you have to do is die in a war that you didn't consent to, that you didn't start, that you didn't even actually want to be a part of. And who do you leave behind? You leave behind everybody. And how do those people deal with their grief? They say, oh, you must be in heaven with God. You must be in heaven with God because you died for God. What a holy and perfect way to die. It is genuinely a mental illness. It is a mental illness because men have convinced themselves it is acceptable to unalive people for God. And when their own people get unalived, they don't stop and question, wait, maybe we should stop prioritizing this belief system so much, and we should actually start caring about protecting innocent human lives. No, because they don't care about protecting innocent human lives, they care about protecting their idea. Their idea is Islam, and they need everybody to believe in it, and if people don't believe that you're going to be rewarded for dying for this idea, then they're not going to stick to the group, right? They're going to leave and they're going to reject the idea and they're going to go live their own lives. So they need to convince people that dying for God is a good thing, that martyrdom is a good thing, that that's the way you earn heaven, that's the way you earn God's favor. This leads to the situation that you commented about in the video where people are passing out in Mecca in like 50 degrees Celsius heat because they're fasting and dehydrated, and people are rewarding the death. It's a suicide. That's a suicide. You just killed yourself. And people are rewarding it because they killed themselves for God. This is why religion is so dangerous, because it makes you do insane things. What do you mean you starved and dehydrated yourself for an idea in the desert? In the literal place where it's the hardest to fast. It goes back to the video that I just made yesterday where I was talking about Muslim people need to be depressed and they need to suffer because they believe that being depressed and suffering for God is how you earn heaven. That is a mental illness, you guys. You don't have to be depressed and you don't have to suffer for an idea because the idea has been humanized by men over actual human lives. Like, I need you to see this from an objective perspective. Remove your feelings from it. Get out of the box for a second and look at what is happening. An idea that has no feelings, that has no thoughts, that has no opinions, that has no value to anybody, to anything outside of the value that you give it as a human, over actual human beings with emotions, with family members, with a life purpose. Those people are irrelevant. What's relevant and what's necessary is to protect the belief system. The belief system holds more weight in Muslim people's brains than actual human lives. That's a cult. That's a cult. Unfortunately, that's a cult. You can't convince me otherwise, guys. How is it not a cult? Tell me that. Tell me how is it not a cult? Someone brainwashed you from birth to believe that dying for this idea is worth it. Dying for this idea is worth it. And if you don't kill yourself and someone else kills you, that's also worth it. It's worth it to be murdered for an idea. An idea. An idea. An idea.